Malo le Saphron Matamua. I'm Nu'ali'i Eteroa Lafaele.
And I'm Julia Arnott-Neenee. And this is Tech Voyagers, a series that explores the technology and digital realm as Pasefika trailblazers.
Join us each week as we recap the latest tech news and look into the wins, challenges, and impact of technology in our Pasefika communities. Malo le Saphron fam, welcome back to our show. We're excited to have you. Oh my gosh, Julia, another episode.
Woo! Tech Voyagers, let's go.
We love it, yes. How's your week been, sister?
You know what? It's been really good. My partner is Ngāti Porou, Gizzy Hard.
That's cool.
He doesn't ever forget to remind me of this. So we went back down to Gizzy for the weekend, which was really lovely. Celebrated his dad's 60th, spent time with the whānau. Had amazing, number one thing was fish and chips, always have to. And then apparently there's all this competition between what's the best beach in Gizzy. So I don't even remember what one it was, but we went to his favorite one, his favorite beach, even though it was, cold and miserable, but, have to. But yeah, how was your week, sis? How have you been?
Oh, honestly, it's been pretty bomb. What's it called? Went and watched Barbie.
Yes.
And, oh my gosh, I wish I dressed up for it, eh?
Wait, you didn't?
Nah, because, when I went, when we had a meeting a few weeks ago, I felt like that was my Barbie moment.
All right.
But that was pretty cool, eh? Yeah. It was just, I want to be a Barbie one day,
Wait, aren't you a Barbie?
Oh, I'm a brat.
Oh!
You see the wing on the eyeliner? That's me. Or Barney were friends. I don't know if they got dolls, but yeah, I would classify myself, I like to watch it. It must be nice,
I love it. And he's just Ken.
That's right.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about on the show today, again, part 3, we're sorry we're keeping on going. Maybe we're not.
Nah.
I don't think we are. This is what it means. We're going to be talking about building a team, developing a product, releasing our products into the world for the very first time for all the world to judge. #haters. All good and scaling ourselves. But, first of all, as always, we've got to start with the best ever news segment, Eti on the Beat.
Eti on the beat. Eti on the beat. Eti on the beat. News topic number 1. OpenAI can't tell if something is written by AI after all.
You know what? I love how you're laughing.
Why do you build if you don't know your own language? While OpenAI shuts down a tool meant to detect AI-written text due to low accuracy, OpenAI fully admitted that the classifier was never very good at catching AI-generated texts. Wow. And warned that it could spit out false positives, aka human-written text tagged as AI-generated.
I mean...
It's interesting. It's I can't see what let's say I was an AI and I wrote something. I can't tell if it's my own writing.
Oh, hard out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a human psychology thing that we actually find it very difficult to judge between what's real and what's fake. And I honestly think it's a bit ironic that, if I started the craze, the AI wars that are kind of going, the race to be at the forefront, and I started all of that, and then Loki later on had to be hey everyone, actually my tool doesn't work. I'm grateful they're being honest to a degree, right? Grateful they're being honest and they've actually come out with accountability. But do you know what? The kicker is there's actually an investigation happening as well into OpenAI about its training data collection and whether those methods have violated consumer rights. And the double kicker to this is that the head of trust and safety of OpenAI has recently stepped down. I know. So I just think it's very fascinating that we've made all of these leaps and steps forward. And then here we go, and investigations around, have they violated our consumer rights? And then their tools are not actually working. And then the head of trust and safety
Yeah.
What's news item number 2, sis?
Well, news item number 2 is culture, history, and AI.
Okay, tell me.
Lovely. Well, the Sydney Jewish Museum created AI avatars of Holocaust survivors with a Q&A engine that processes speech to allow the digital replica to respond.
Whoa. So I've actually been to this museum because I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. It's, it's like
gosh.
not making it about me, but
that's cool.
I went to the Sydney Museum back when I lived in Sydney, the Jewish,
Yeah.
the Jewish Sydney Museum, and it was so moving. Like it was one of the most unique experiences I've ever had, and you know, I don't think it's for us to say whether or not something is right or not. I more feel that what steps we're taking to preserve stories is so fascinating, and for that community to respond in a way that means something for them, and if that's what they want to do with their stories, then that's for them to make those decisions. But I do find it really interesting for us to think about from a Pacific perspective, you know, what would we do in that sense, right?
And it's like capturing stories from generations to generations, which is kind of cool because the way we communicate is through storytelling, but to actually have like that visual of the ancestor,
right,
and even get the voice,
right?
Oh yeah, that would hurt. I'll cry.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. So I do think there's like a lot of ways in which you could see that culture being passed down, especially as you mentioned from that oratory point of view. How will history be told 100 years from now?
Imagine us as an AI. How that would be like, where's my grandchildren? Like, what's happening here? But like with the BC, it's not just tech that changes in this industry. It's like, you know, the funeral industry.
Right.
How would they view that? Like, wow, like imagine.
I mean, what would happen if you had like the open casket plus an avatar plus.
Yeah. I'll be like, this song better be in the program today. Oh, I remember if Rambo was an AI. Oh my God.
Rambo. Oh my gosh. We're back to Rambo.
Yeah, sorry.
We brought him back.
Yeah, but imagine.
Is it a him or her?
Oh,
Okay. Oh, wow, sis. Okay, news item number 3.
Bliss deep fake love. Ooh.
Have you seen it?
No, I actually didn't get time to see it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so for everyone listening, this is it's on Netflix. It's a Spanish show that and I, you know, again, I have seen it. I'm gonna admit to I have seen it, and basically, let me give you the synopsis. What happens is couples that have been together, either engaged or been together for like quite a few years, come onto a dating show, and then they're separated into different houses. Drama. One's called Mars, the other one's called Venus, and they are put into these houses with everyone else to kind of, I don't know, go and test how much their love really means. So like whether or not they'll cheat in these different houses. Yeah. The kicker is when they're brought every week or something, they're brought back into this, I don't know, like this house or whatever, the space. It's like a thing. And they are shown video clips of how their partner is behaving in either, if they're in Mars, it's how your partner's behaving in Venus. And they show these video clips that have been altered using a deep fake technology. Oh. And so they basically, their whole test is to decide whether or not it's real or it's deep fake. Oh my. And it's insane. So and then for us as the user, we're shown 2 different side-by-side events of the reality and then the deep fake version where they're using a body double and then they obviously put the face of the individual onto the body double. Oh, I mean, for me, this is just like so... Like if this is what as humanity is entertaining for us, watching like people getting so distressed and having to test themselves whether or not they're what
trust they on that.
Like who are we as humans?
Yeah, I doubt that's and because we'll always go for the worst case scenario, which would be probably the
you know
rate. Yeah. Oh my.
And so they're all in this competition. And the thing is that there's 100,000 euros on the line, and the way in which you win that money, sis, is this: how many times did you guess correctly?
Wow.
Like I don't know. It is what it is. It ain't for me. It ain't for me.
Yeah, nah, not for me.
And it's not something I want to continue to see be created in the terms of types of content and like the types of role modeling we're doing for young people, for anyone.
Yeah, that's not. We live in a very exciting world ahead, but you know, for this week, this is Etsy on the Beat. We hope to see you next week. Yes! Etsy on the Beat. Etsy on the Beat.
So we're here for part 3,
yes.
of our founder story. And you know, we're only telling the story because we're just hoping that maybe someone else might we're not trying to be like, bots and just talk about ourselves constantly. It's like, that's not what we're trying to do here, right? We've got one of our core pillars is building collective intelligence or building village intelligence. And what that really means for us is creating or taking the learnings of our experience and not gatekeeping them, right?
Nah, we're not idle. Yeah, we don't hog this knowledge.
No. And so we the whole point of us sharing our story, and again, getting into part 3, I'm sorry, is that we are trying to make sure that we're sharing valuable insights, building that village intelligence or building those village learnings for others to receive some token of wisdom or some nugget of wisdom that can help and support their journey. So maybe they learn from the mistakes we've made.
Yeah,
maybe they can go further than us, and that would be amazing.
Yeah. That's the goal, really.
That is
to
the
build
goal.
us up, yeah.
Hard out as a whole community and as a whole collective. So we're going to break this out into a couple of key themes around where we're kind of at. And the first one is around what does it mean to build a team? And I suppose so much of that for us has been understanding. Why are you laughing?
I think I know what you're going to say.
Oh, what are you going to say? You say it.
Correct me, but as yourself, myself, and also Sister Seth, we work at a very at a high excellence level. Now that's not a bots thing, but it's taken us a while to know that that's how we've been able to deliver.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we didn't. I think because it was so. I think we've been. Gosh, it's hard to talk about this without feeling really strange. We've always really felt a sense of urgency to prove ourselves. And I think the commonality between us is that we've always kind of been an other, or we haven't really fitted in maybe, or we've kind of walked into different worlds and felt like we have to, work 10 times as hard to get 1 times the amount of acknowledgement or respect. And through being those or having that kind of training for ourselves, when we came together as a team, between us 3, that was a natural way of being. Yeah. Right? Like, we don't get second chances. We got to always over deliver. We cannot fall short of expectations, and we have to set the highest expectations of ourselves because someone else is probably going to think we should be doing better.
Yeah, and for example, if there's every time we go to meetings, sister's always we have to have a PowerPoint. Because it gives structure, but how professional we are and how we take this work serious too.
We take it really seriously. Yeah. So when we started to bring people into the founding team, which is really what we are the founding team. When we started to bring people in and try and hire and find people, I mean, how would you describe the experiences, the highs and lows of hiring, of trying to onboard and trying to build a team?
I think the exciting thing is that we get to hire our own people. We get to create, we get to contribute towards that economy for our people so that they can see themselves, one, culturally safe, but 2, aware that, hey, we're a Pasefika-led org. We have values that ground us from, our ancestors, but we can still do business. We can still do this at the same time. So it's being able to provide that opportunity, eh?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, you've just spoken to one of the highs. So I guess I'll go the other way.
We could do 1 high each then, eh?
Yeah. Okay. I think like you say, one of the big highs for me too is I guess trying to give, when I think about some of the difficult experiences I've had in my career, trying to be an antidote to that, or try and swing the other way from the hard times I've experienced, and trying to give other people positive experiences and learning from that. Yeah. So I think that's been one of the most beautiful things, like, for example, offering a really flexible working environment, giving a lot of autonomy, believing in people from the jump, just absolutely having a lot of belief in people from the start versus making them feel as though they're at the bottom and they have to earn your belief, which is, some of the experiences that I've definitely had. So that's also been a really big high, and being able to being the designers and being able to build from the start from a different place that is taking some of those negative things and turning it into positive things for others. So that would be one of the big highs for me, sis.
Love it. Yes.
What about one of the low? Can I go low?
Yeah. Low.
Oh, I don't know what that was.
The one of the lows is, I think it goes back to how we mentioned the way that we work is because a big thing that people forget is we're a startup. So when you're a startup, things run very fast, but it's a very foreign environment that people are not aware of. Like a lot of people actually are in startups, which is, I encourage you, if you're in a startup, that's the best way. Like even
rough learnings,
but it's a good way to learn. But I think it's just trying to get because when we hire, we want us to, we're running, but we want you to run on the treadmill with us at that speed. Yeah. And I think that's been a hard thing, is trying to, we still have grace for them because, you're coming into it. But it's not like when you go to a corporate job, you get like 6 months onboarding. Yes. We can't do that in a startup because we need to build with quality, but also build so that, the startup can move from that phase. Yeah. So that's one of my kind of lows that I noticed too.
Totally.
What about yours, sis?
It definitely echoes with you. Like, I think that tension of trying to be a school where people can come in and learn, but also recognizing that we're a startup and we've got deadlines to meet. Yep. And like that pressure, we're trying to shield people from that pressure as much as possible. But at the end of the day, unless we over deliver, we won't get second chances to be back here for another year or another year after. So I think with that, it's probably the recognition that, this Fibre Whale really was born from, sounds so silly, but it was really born from us three, us two, and that not everyone's going to love the baby in the same way that we love it. Yeah. And that's not necessarily a low, it's just a truth, maybe. It's just a truth. But I think with that, it's sort of, you mean you didn't clothe the baby or feed it? Like, okay, all good then, I'll do it. So there's just a little bit of that, right? Just a little bit of recognizing the limitations or just the boundaries, which is, all part of the learnings. Number 2 here we've got around building our products. And I guess, I don't know even, like, do we call them products or interventions or programs or just like amazing things we want to do? I don't know. But I suppose
we didn't know that we were building, because we already did this stuff before. Right. So it was just, for me, it was the change of language.
Such a good point.
Yeah. Because we already had the product suite.
Do that again?
Product suite.
Can that be a meme?
Product suite.
Product suite. I feel like it's like you need the spirit fingers as well.
Yeah, I know.
Product suite. But I suppose some people go after one particular audience or one particular niche that they just focus all their attention and energy on, and it means that you're focusing on one persona. Mm-hmm. You're creating this product for this one persona, and that's your entire business. Yep. Like maybe to start with is that you're just going to be really niche, go find product market fit, which that's startup language, but you're going to go after one persona, one problem, and you're going to get obsessed about that one thing in order to have that laser focus. Mm-hmm. And we were a little bit different in that sense because we were already doing so much, and we were already going from equity, which is refurbishing, redistributing devices, all the way through to like leadership camps and like building capability and capacity within our own community. And those are different audiences or personas, as you'd call them, of which you create different products for. But we were not just going at either end, we were going every single in between. The journey. And that's how we saw it, is that we want to not just start and stop at one level. We want to make sure that we're able to journey alongside throughout a journey. I should stop saying journey. So you can talk now.
Malanga,
Thank you. Franco.
Yes, no, I totally get it. Because you're right, people just focus on their area, but that's what made us unique, was that because we went through the journey. We are a product of the system.
And I think that's where we wanted to plug holes that we recognized weren't getting enough attention.
Yeah, I don't.
And it did mean that over the course of this past year, it's really it's tested us because we've had to constantly be adapting per different sort of segment of our Pacific community, per different barrier that we're trying to overcome, and the product that will support that overcoming that barrier, that solution aspect. And we've really gone wide and are now in a process of refining down and playing to what we believe our strengths are. Because the truth of the matter is, sis, like, we are not going to be able to solve everything.
No, yeah. We can't.
Yeah. We just can't. And so knowing that there are other important people and important organizations that are also within this space and are making a difference, and where is our best value add to making the change? Where can we add the most value and the most support to our community? And so we, I guess this is where it's benefited us, because we went wide and we designed and we were community-led and we were ensuring that we delivered and building feedback as we went, and we tested everything. And now we're kind of in this sort of refinement space. Do that again? I feel like that's like, what is it? ASMR?
Yeah, I know.
What's that? What is it called?
Yeah, that one. But that's true, because we had to cut things out. Oh,
is that what we were doing? I don't know what we were doing.
I was going to do a timba, but then it ended up being a water blast.
But it has been, as you say, like we went wide and we've tested a bunch of things, and now we're refining down. And through that was really from community response and also through the individuals that we've seen the most amount of change or impact or positive impact that we've been able to create with them. To refine what we're doing. And I think that's also bringing like a new season for us. What do you think, sis?
Yeah, I don't, like because we've been in that realm of community, it's really, for me, really is changing that look, because if I focus too much, then we won't be able to provide that support. So it's trying to maneuver it. So it's like, we're here, we've done what we've done. The help will still be there, but we need to shift that mindset so that we can support further in the future too.
Totally. And I think for me, a big learning out of all of this is that while we were testing and delivering and kind of bringing things to life that were done for the very first time, that was that drew a lot from us.
Yeah.
Because we had no blueprint. There was not a blueprint of a Pacific-led, mission-orientated, still private company, but with a constitution that locked you into the mission, mixed with being young Pacific woman, 30 and under, operating at all these different tiers of the sector and of the system, like navigating so many different stakeholders and relationships. Like, there wasn't actually a blueprint for this. Like, there's a book out there that we can just go and read, or a TED Talk or a masterclass. Like, there wasn't those types of resources and insights weren't there for us.
No, I don't. Because like your famous quote, we're doing the thing for the first time.
Is it takeaway time?
Oh, it is takeaway time. We love it. Here's your order. Ding.
Again.
A ding. Oh my gosh, are you hungry? I'm hungry too. Here's your first one. Bless you.
I was going to be like, is it lunchtime?
Oh yes, it's lunchtime. I'm hungry, yeah. Bless. Well, today, number one takeaway is team culture. A team is not a group of people who work together. A team is a group of people who trust each other. And I reckon from our experience, the reason why we created that team culture was because of the trust that us three formed. We're the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh,
straight up.
Who's who?
You can choose. I don't mind.
I don't even know who's who.
Yeah, sugar and spice and everything nice. But you will find it because, we trust us three. Like, we're the Trinity. We always trust each other. But with that, it projects the environment for, our beautiful workers that are with us. And I think it's important you build that team culture wherever you are, because that itself is kind of like the actions of our mission. And I think once that comes down, we are the milk and honey. If it seeps to us, to our workers, it'll be amazing. Oh my gosh, the outputs will be bomb.com.
Bomb.com.
Yes.
I'm still thinking about lunch too. And then you said milk and honey, and I'm just like, oof, what is that? Takeaway number two. Is that for a lot of for anyone that's building a company, or for anyone that's starting something new, quite often you're building a new industry as well. People wouldn't have ever engaged with someone like you before. And we've heard that a lot.
Yeah.
And, with that comes this feeling of it's hard and it's exhausting to be doing something for the first time. And it's incredibly rewarding. But the cost of that you might not even fully realize. And a lot of it's spiritual, it's emotional, psychological. Like it's you're constantly having to draw from a really deep well within yourself to keep showing up every day when there isn't a blueprint.
I thought you were going to say blowhole.
I thought I was going to say that too. I was trying to say blueprint, and I don't know where. Anyway, blueprint, roadmap that is out there to help get shortcuts, really, I think. And again, when people haven't, and I'm sort of people as like widely, when society has never engaged with someone like you before, which we hear a lot, right? It also means be ready for a little bit of resistance, a little bit of uncertainty, a little bit of, other people's insecurities coming up and maybe telling you to be smaller than what you are. And I think for us, what has held us in a really strong space is because we've had each other to return to and draw strength from, and always know that we're not building alone, we're building together.
And that is our takeaways for this week. I hope you find yourself fulfilled after hearing these takeaways right here, right now.
Was that like fulfilled? Like you're full?
Yeah.
And
filled? Yeah, you better be. Bless.
Well, thanks for listening, everyone. I will say shout out to my partner, Dylan. He actually started listening to our first episode before we'd even released it. He found it on YouTube, and then he's like, by the way, I'm listening to you. And I was like, what are you talking about?
So cool.
So thank you, Dylan. And hopefully we've just got more than Dylan and Tim and ourselves happening going on right now.
And many more listeners.
Many, all of you. Thank you for listening. Tune in for our next episode. We'll be talking about the pits and peaks, our biggest lessons, failures, wins, and how we've personally changed in the journey so far.
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Let us know what you want to hear about. But until next time, we look forward to having a chat. Tofa, soifo, see you then. You have been listening to Tech Voyagers, brought to you by Fiberfale.
It was hosted by me, Julia Arnott-Neenee.
And me, Nuali'i Eteroa Lafaele.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you're following Tech Voyagers on your favourite podcast player so you get new episodes as soon as they land.
Join the talanoa and let us know your thoughts using hashtag Tech Voyagers on all socials.
And if you want to know more about pathways for Pasefika people in tech, visit fiberfale.com.